Yes, good day, my dear viewer. I'm Pastor Richard, your instructor, and we are making a continuation of commands, Autocad commands, and we are starting now with the act of the circle, ARC act of the circle. There are several ways of drawing the act of a circle. In order for you to draw the act of a circle, there are several methods of drawing the act of a circle, and you can give the command A. Then you hit enter, then Autocad will be ready to do the act of a circle. So let me type A, I hit enter, Autocad is ready to draw the act of a circle. When the point I click, it is now the first point of the act. Autocad will say specify second point. So the second point I click, Autocad is already forming the what? The act. Then still tells us to specify a point, then I click, it will be the end point now. So this is the 3-point method. When I click, Autocad already drawn the act of a circle. So that is how we can draw the act of a circle. But sometimes there are specific methods you want to use, so you can go here. You see, there are several options. There is a 3-point method, start center end method, start center angle method, start center length method, start end angle method. But for me, I normally use these first three. Start 3-point method, and I use start center and hand method, start center and angle method. I rarely use it, but anyway, I use it once in a while. So the first three are the one that I normally use. So supposing we want to draw start center end, then we select this second option here. So now we click the start, we click the center, and we click the end. So it has already drawn for us what? The act of a circle. As simple as that. So start, center, and then end. So there are several ways of drawing act of a circle, so that is what I wanted to show you. So in order to give the command act of a circle, you can type A, then you hit enter, then Autocad will be ready to draw the act of a circle. So you click, Autocad will ask you the next point, you click, Autocad will ask you the next point, you click. Autocad has already drawn the what? The act of a circle. So you give the command from the keyboard, or you pick from the tools here, the tools bar in the ribbon. So that is how we can give the command. So once you type A, Autocad will realize you want to draw what? The act of a circle. So that is that. The next command I'm going to show you is the offset command. So if we want to do the offset command, the letter O gives you the command offset. So you type O, you hit enter, then Autocad will realize that you want to offset a line. So say we want to offset this line here, and the Autocad will ask you a question that specify the offset distance. It tells you to specify the offset distance. So what offset distance do we want to offset? So if we say 200 millimeter, then we hit Autocad is ready to offset 200 millimeter. We can even offset this act of a circle to 200 millimeter. So we have offsetted it to 200 millimeter. But now you don't see it, but it is there. It is there. You see when we zoom it. So this one here, it is already 200 millimeter. The distance in between is 200 millimeter. So if we are to measure, find that is what? 200 millimeter. So sometimes you need to zoom in order to see certain things. And this one also confuse learner. They offset and they think it is not there. So now when it is like this, you may think you have not offset. When you have already offset, this is really what? There. So zoom command is very, very important. The next command we are going to show you is trim command. Trim commands work when you have the line in between other lines. So if I select line like this, then I draw line just to be in between other line like this. So with this, we can now use what? Trim command. So if we, supposing I don't want this line here, or I don't want the one which has extended beyond this line here. So I can use now the trim command in order to cut off or maybe trim the portion of the line that is overlapping the other line which I don't want. So how do we give a trim command? You can also get it from the ribbon, the drawing palette here. This is trim. But I want to use a keyboard command which you type TR. So when you type TR and you hit enter, Autocad is ready to trim. And it will tell you select object. But normally, these select objects may not be easy for you learners. So the best immediately is to right click. Once you right click, now Autocad will begin to trim direct. So after right clicking, then now trim the portion you don't want to see. You can trim a line like this cannot trim. Like if I don't want this portion, I trim it. I don't want this portion, I trim it. I don't want this portion, I trim it. So whatever distance whatever line portion I trim, it is cleared off. So maybe I want to remain with only this. So that is how trim commands work. I'm going to, or you can pick from the tools palette here. Trim and extend are all together. So that's why I told you that sometimes certain command from the tools palette it hides. Like now you're seeing trim, extend is hidden, but extend is also here. This small arrow here leads you to extend. You see, extend is down here. And now when you select extend, it comes in a display like this. Trim as hidden. So for you, a learner, sometimes it's good to know the keyboard command because certain tools are hidden from you. So now in order for you to do trim and extend, you should use keyboard command, which is easier for you to use. So now supposing I want to extend. So I type EX is extend. You type EX, then you hit what? Enter. Then you hit what? Enter. That one is, if you hit enter 2 times, AutoCAD is now ready to extend direct. If I select like this, it will extend this line. If I select this, it will extend this line. But it cannot extend to where there is nothing. So if you click this one here, it cannot extend anywhere because it should extend and stop in the extend boundary which you have created. So if I was having a boundary around here, this line, when I click like this, it will extend. But if there's nowhere to extend to go, you have not shown where it should stop, it will not extend. So now you right click and the command is done. So how does the command extend work? So you can say I want to extend this line to raise this one here. So I type what? EX, X, and I hit enter. Then again I hit enter, second time. Then now I extend, I click and it extend. Like if I want to extend this line also, this arc of a circle, I can also extend it. You see, I extend, I extend. I can even continue extending. You see, it's extending and becoming a circle. You can extend it. So that's how these commands work. That is extend command. But sometimes you can also use extend to trim or trim to extend. So if I've selected extend like this, and then I right click, then I press shift key, AutoCAD will begin to trim instead of what? Instead of extending, because I've pressed the what? The shift key. So I've turned extend to trim. So in the same way, you can also use trim in order to extend. When you press shift key, you press and hold shift key, then it will turn to the other command. The next commands I want to show you is erase command. Erase command is easy to use. It is also there in the tools palette, modifying tools palette. So this is a symbol of erase. So when you select erase, you right click, you select erase, then whatever you select, it will just erase. So if I select this, it will erase. I select this, when I right click, it terminates the command. So I'm going to repeat. You can also use the keyboard command. The keyboard command to erase. Let me come again. You type E, then you hit enter. Then AutoCAD will tell us that erase select object. So whatever object I select, you right click and it erase. You right click and it erase. So I can say E, enter. Then I right click, E, which is erase. Then I select here erase. I can select from there. So whatever I click, it erase. 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 So that's how you can erase. Then you right click and you terminate the command. Next, we're going to do mirroring an object. How do we do mirror of an object? So mirror, the keyboard command is MI, that is mirror. But in the tools palette, this is mirror. In the tool palette, this is mirror. So you can mirror anything you want to mirror. If this is our circle that we have drawn, we can mirror it to become this way if we want to mirror it. So how does mirror command work? You type MI, then you hit enter. Then you select the object you want to mirror, and you right click, then select the mirror line. Then you click, then you select enter. So it has mirrored it this way. But sometimes you want to mirror and the original remain. How do we go about it? You only know what to do. So you can type MI. Enter. So we want to mirror now and the original remain. So we select the object, we right click, then we select the mirror line, we bring it down, then we click no. Now instead of it will mirror it, but still the original remain. So sometimes you want to mirror and the original remain, it also do it like that. So select the object, select the mirror line, you mirror, you can mirror the whole object or you mirror and leave the original remains. So it will depend on your choice or what kind of task you are doing. So that's how you can do mirror. Sometimes mirror can also help you. Say now I've drawn a what? A rectangle like this. So maybe if I've drawn a rectangle like this, okay, let me pick it from a midpoint. From a midpoint to this point. So I've trimmed this part. Say now we select trim, we right click, then we trim up this part. Then we select this, we press delete key, will also delete. Now we want to to have our rectangle. How do we come back to this rectangle without doing undo? So what we do, we select this and then we mirror it, and it will become our rectangle. So now we are missing a point of rectangle. So how do we form it using mirror command? So we can select, we can type MI, we hit enter, then we select the object. After selecting the object, then we right click, then we select the mirror distance, the mirror line. Then we click down here is our mirror line. So now enter the source, erase source object. If you want to erase object, then the source object, then you select yes. If you don't want, you want the source object to remain, then you select no. So it's giving an option of no. So when you pick no, it has formed our rectangle. But if we want it to mirror it the other way around, then we select yes, then it will mirror the original. The neck is chamfer. CHAMFER, chamfer. Chamfer. We can get it from here. It's filled, there is chamfer. But now we want to chamfer this line and this line here. We want to make it chamfer the way you looked at it from here. You see how it looks like. So we want to chamfer this angle here. So how do we go about it? You can select. You can also use keyboard command to bring chamfer. We type CSA CH. Then we hit enter, and Autocad is ready to do the chamfering. So now, what to do now? Autocad is telling us select first line. We select. Autocad is telling us select the second line. But before we select the center of second line, we have to specify the chamfer distance. Then we type D. Then we enter. Then we specify the chamfer distance. Let's say 200 millimeter. Then we hit enter. Then now specify the second. Specify the second chamfer distance. We hit enter. Yeah, it has chamfer. It has chamfer. This is how chamfer work. Maybe I can repeat. So if we undo, first this angle is at 90. It's not undo. You find that this angle is what? Is at 90, but we want to chamfer it by maybe even 500 millimeter for now. So you can type CH. Okay. We hit enter. Then we type we type D. Then we hit enter. Tell Autocad that we want to type the chamfer distance. This time let's make it 500. Then we hit enter. So it has chamfer it by distance of 500 millimeter. So that is how we can do chamfer. You select chamfer, then you type D. Tell Autocad that you want to type the distance. Then you hit enter. Then now you pick the two lines you want to chamfer. Then Autocad will just chamfer it automatically. That's how we can do chamfer. So I'm doing it again on this side, which is still at 90. So now I pick chamfer from here. Then I type D, I enter. Then I type the chamfer distance. This time I'm even typing it up to 600 millimeter. Then I hit enter. Then I select now I hit enter. Then I select now the two lines I want to chamfer. I pick this and I pick this. It has chamfer automatically here. That is the easiest way of doing chamfer. Now next is fillet. Fillet. Fillet is also this. You see it is making a curve at an angle. So what we call fillet. So if this is our angle, we want to fillet this part here. So we can pick from here, but I normally recommend you to use the keyboard command, which is better. So you type F is fillet. F, you hit enter. Then you type D, then you hit enter. Then you hit what? You type now the what? The fillet distance. If we want the fillet distance to be maybe 550 millimeter, that's our 50. That's our fillet distance. Then we hit what? Enter. And we hit enter. So when we pick and pick here, it has already what? Fillet. It has still chamfer. Okay. We are still on chamfer command. Let me do fillet. I type F. We are still on chamfer. Let's do filleting. Sometimes the command can continue if you don't terminate it. So you have to know that one. So you have to terminate command by pressing escape key several times. You can terminate your command. So now we have terminated by our press escape key several times. You have seen in the display here is showing cancel. I pressed 3 times and it has cancelled the previous command. So now I'm going to type F and I hit enter. Autocad is ready to do filleting. But now it's giving us option of radius. So you type R, then you hit enter, then you type the what? The radius you want to fillet. So let's say 450 millimeter is our radius. Then we hit enter. AutoCAD is ready now to do the filleting in between the two lines that we select. So when you select this line, then we select this second line, it has already chamfered it by 450 radius. You are seeing how nice it is to look at. It has what? It has already made filleting.